Hi, hey, hi, it's me, your Void, and this video was supposed to go out a month ago. Oops. The unfortunate chain of events has transpired, which is why my mid-year freakout comes exceptionally late. But it is a staple on BookTube, so of course I will make a mid-year freakout. Same rules as the last two times I did this. I frankensteined this together from all of BookTube, basically, so there's a little bit of everything in here, and I have no idea where any part comes from. I'm also pretty sure the mid-year freakout tag was originally conceived by a single person. I don't know who that was. I am very sorry. I also don't know where I sourced all of my questions from. I think I got some from Kirsty from KBeth Bookish. I think I got some from Gavin Reads It All. At this point, I don't know. I lost track. So I am very sorry. If you are one of the originators of one of these questions, let me know. I will tag you after the fact. I'm sorry. But let's not talk around the bush, the block, the everything, because we all know I like to yap, so let's just get straight to the meat of the ball. That's not how you say that. The first question is, how is your reading going so far this year? And I have to say, it is going exceptionally well. My reading goal every year is set at 52 books, period. I never change that. Problem being, I have hit that goal for the past couple of years consistently. And last year was the first time I hit 100 reads, and then I even topped that with almost hitting 150 books. So this year I set my goal to 52, knowing I will blast through that easy. And then I did. So I raised it. Well, I didn't quite raise it. I gave myself the stretch goal of reading 100 books, and as of I think 2 days ago, I hit that. So now I have my stretch goal, my challenge goal, if you will, of reading 150 books. It is, as of filming this, the end of July. Told you this video is exceptionally late. It is the end of July and I am at 102 books read. There is still so much year left. I think I can hit the 150 easily, which is terrifying. But yeah, my reading is going well. My reading is going exceptionally well. The next question is, what has been the best book you read so far this year? And that one I had to think about. I had to think about that, and ultimately I landed on Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson, which when I originally rated it was only a 4.5, but then I had to talk about it for a wrap-up, and I talked myself into giving it 5 stars because there was nothing I really disliked about it. So I gave this 5 stars, and now I had to contemplate this question of what is the best book you read so far this year, and I compared it to all of the other 5-star books and all of the other books I really enjoyed, and it comes out on top every single time. So, Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson, which is the story of 2 ladies falling in love at a farmer's market. Nothing else going on in the book. Question number 3 is, what is the watch? Watch is the wow. This is where my brain wants to combine the words what and which. Watch. But which witch is looking at which watch? The question is, what is the best reread you have read so far this year? And for that, I had to do some math, because technically I reread a couple of things, but they were reread in a different format. So I was like, was that a reread? Wait, yes, it was. And I ultimately landed on Initiation by Alethea Faust, which is the first book in the Sex Wizard series. Because, of course, have you met me? The Sex Wizard series is a series based on a kink-based magic system, and we follow Domini as he learns what is magic, how do you do magic, who do you do to do magic. There's a surprising amount of good, solid, epic fantasy plot in here, given that the series is called Sex Wizards and follows a bunch of people who learn the ins and outs, no pun intended, of a kink-based magic system. And I reread this because I read this, I think, 2023. I read this a while ago, and I made myself the goal of rereading the entire series this year. Next one is the best manga / comic / graphic novel you read this year, and for that one, that has to go to Hotel Limbo by Ben Harrell. Arel. If you have seen Has Been Hotel, the concept is similar, just to take out the musical numbers. This is a comic about people going to purgatory. Not necessarily hell, but it's purgatory. And purgatory is a hotel, and everyone who goes there gets their own room, and it is designed by their memories. And they are all stuck there until they figure out something about themselves. And we follow a character who is now new there. His name is Bellboy, and that is his job. That is why it is his name. And we follow Bellboy as he is now trapped in purgatory, kind of himself, but instead of having to work through shit, he has to work there. And there are a lot of mysteries going on, and he has a strange ability to help these people who are stuck there by helping them unlock their memories and help them find peace. But there's something more going on in the background. This story is hilarious. The inside jokes are amazing. There are some fourth wall breaks that I just love. For example, my favorite one is the fact that all of these characters regularly comment on the fact that the art style of the comic changes, because Ben Harrell picked a bunch of comic artists to help him make this thing become a thing. So every chapter has a different art style because he wants to highlight all of these artists. And that is just so beautiful. And combine that with the fourth wall breaks, it just is hilarious. I love this comic so much. The next question is, what is the best sequel you read so far this year? And that one was an easy question to answer. This has to go to Mastery by Alethea Faust, which is book 2 in the Sex Wizard series. Because, oh my god, I have a type, and that type is Arlon. And we get so much Arlon in the second book, because Dominai has learned what it means to do magic, make magic, do people in order to make magic. In book 1, he was a conduit, so things were done to him and other people were casting the spells. And now he's trying to learn how to cast spells himself, but he's very unsure about it, so he gets a little help from the headmaster of the school. And oh boy, does that headmaster help him. Yep. What are some upcoming releases you are the most excited for? For that one, I have three. The first one being As You Break the Shell by Becky Chambers. I have an arc for that. This one comes out, I believe, in October. And this is a slow-paced space romance between two people who live on a very unforgiving planet. The next one I'm really excited for also comes out in October, which is Victorious by V.E. Schwab, which is the third book in the Villains series. And I cannot wait to see where this shit is going, because I was not a fan of book 2. I could literally tell that book 2 was supposed to be 2 books and not 1 book, but the publisher didn't want to have a third book, but now we have a third book because V.E. Schwab in the meantime published a bunch of books and they blew up, so now we get a third Villains book that was completely different from the beginning. I hope it's a good end to this story, because I do love these characters, but I just did not like book 2, so I am very excited to see where that is going. And the fact that all of the US marketing is dishing out so many cool goodies and my European ass cannot partake in that. Very rude. Very rude. And the third one I'm excited for is the first novel in the Something is Killing the Children universe by James Tynion IV, because have you met me? I love the Slaughterverse and everything that comes out of it. Everything this man touches. Everything James Tynion IV touches. I want to get my grabby hands on, because it is good shit. And this book also comes out in October. October is just going to be a very, very good month for me, and a very, very bad month for my wallet. The biggest surprise of my year so far has been Her Majesty's Royal Coven by Juno Dawson, because yes, the pitch was there. The pitch was, this is a book written to spite everything that She Who Shall Not Be Named has done. And I have to say, I bought this because of that. I was so spiteful. I was so angry. I'm so angry about the downfall of it all that I wanted to pick this up, and then I read it and it was my first 5-star in almost a year, and I was just blown away, and I'm deeply in love with all of this. I'm deeply in love with this. I am so deeply in love with this. I was surprised at how much I love this. I was expecting, okay, 3, maybe 4 stars. Okay, cool. I did not expect this to have me obsessed with it. Like, for real. So much so that I already read book 2, and I have book 3 ready to go. The second I find an inch of time, I swear. On the opposite of that, the biggest disappointment of the year, that one is a tie between The Undermining of Frank and Twyla by Megan Bannon and Holy Terrors by Margaret Owen. I loved the first book of this series. I loved The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy. And this book is literally everything but that. It took everything I loved about Heart and Mercy and threw it out of the window, drowned it in the sewers, and then set it on fire before throwing it in the sun. I don't know. This is just no. The most interesting part of this book happened off page with characters that weren't even the focus of the story. Like, even the setting that I fell in love with was not present enough, I feel. So I was very disappointed by this book. I have been told book 3 goes back to what made Heart and Mercy great, so I am still looking forward to reading that. I have it right there, the blue one. But this one, I wanted so much more from this. And then Holy Terrors by Margaret Owen. This is a convoluted mess. The plot itself sounds straightforward. We have our main characters and they are invited to this huge prestigious thing because things have happened that made this thing necessary, and then people start dying and our main characters start to investigate this basically closed room murder mystery. It's like a closed palette. They are all in the same space and I cannot leave that, and they are supposed to solve this murder mystery before everyone dies. But then we introduce people coming back from the dead. We introduce time jumps. We introduce what if chapters. And if you have seen the what if episodes of Grey's Anatomy, you know how well that works. It doesn't. And then by the end, like the last 100 pages is basically a completely different book because we introduce time travel and the multiverse at the same time. What? This is a convoluted mess. I gave the first book 5 stars. I loved it. The second book, 4 stars. Still a solid read. Still liked it. And now we get this bullshit as the series closer. I am so disappointed by this that I'm angry. I am angry at how bad this series got by the end. This book is unworthy of the other 2 books. This is just not it. It's just not it. But as disappointed as I was by Holy Terrors, it was not the worst book I read this year. The worst book I read this year isn't even a book, it's a short story, and that is A Trip to the Head by Ursula K. Le Guin. Because what the fuck is that? Like, no, for real, tell me, what is that? It doesn't make sense. I understand the words. I even understand the sentences these words form. But the second we go bigger and put sentences together to form a paragraph, you're losing me. I have no idea what is going on. I cannot tell you what it is about because I don't know. The only thing I remember from that is that California drowned. Like it's just gone. It pulled in Atlantis and disappeared into the ocean, I think. And also one of the worst things I read this year was Light of My Life by Takiba and Fuko Minami, I believe is their names, which is a manga I got an arc for. And I read this, and nah, this is not what you build a relationship on. These people are not in love. These people are codependent in the most toxic way possible. This is not right. This is not right. If you have a relationship like these two, get out. Get out. Get therapy. This is not right. This is not okay. Like, nothing illegal happens, but it is such a toxic friendship and they make a romance out of it. That is just one of the worst boys love mangas I have read ever, and I read a lot of them and they are all problematic usually, but this one takes the cake. Do I have any new favorite authors? Yes I do. I have Juno Dawson. Juno Dawson. Yes. I'm going to finish Her Majesty's Royal Coven and then I will eat my way through her backlog because yes. But also Alex E. Harrow. Last year I read, I think it was last year that I read something from Alex E. Harrow, which was a short story, I think. I don't know, but I've sampled a bunch of Alex E. Harrow's books now, and I loved every single one of them. So yes, Alex E. Harrow. If there is a book with that name on it, I'm probably going to get it. Yes, I would also like to put Delilah S. Dawson on that list, but I have only read one thing by Delilah S. Dawson, which was Bloom, and yes, it blew me away. But one book usually isn't enough to make you one of my favorite authors. So I need to sample a bit more from Delilah S. Dawson. I have my eyes on Guillotine House of Idyll and a new book coming out called Monstera, because have you met me? Have you met my Monstera? So, yeah, I need to sample a bit more before I can call Delilah S. Dawson a new favorite author. But I have a good feeling. Do I have new favorite characters? Well, the first one is not necessarily a new one, because I did like him in book 1, but then Arlon in book 2. We don't get a lot of him in book 1, but I knew I would like him, and then we get so much more in book 2. I swear, this man can step on me and I would thank him. I am not okay when it comes to Arlon. I think I'm genuinely blushing right now. What? But for a real new character, I have to go with Din from A Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, because I love him. I love him. I don't even know why I love him. I just love him. I think if I were ever to meet him, we would be friends. And I don't know. I just like him. I like him. I like Anna too, his boss / partner, but I like Din more. He's just so confused. Like, he can remember absolutely everything, but he's so confused all the time. And I love that for him. I love that for him. He's amazing. I love him. I want to hug him. A book that made me emotional is, well, first and foremost, Her Majesty's Royal Coven. Because the amount of anger I felt every time we switched to a certain perspective. I have rarely had the urge this strong to go into a book just so I can slap a bitch. So that anger is an emotion, right? Anger is an emotion. Yeah, yes. Also, I wanted to protect Theo with everything that I have. Theo probably doesn't need my protection, because have you met Theo? But I wanted to hug Theo while I was slapping a bitch. And the other one that made me have an emotion TM was Alex E. Harrow's 10,000 Doors of January. There were so many emotions in this, and by the end I was like, by the end I was squealing. I was squealing. I promised a book character something. So that one made me emotional. That one made me emotional, and yeah. It's a good book. It's a good book. There's a reason why Alex E. Harrow is on my new favorite author list. And the book that made me happy is actually the first massive volume of Naruto, because this is connected to so many member berries. This is connected to so many member berries. Naruto is the thing that got me into anime. Naruto is the thing that got me into manga. Naruto is the thing that gave me my middle school success. I became a teacher's pet because of Naruto, basically, if you boil it down. There are so many member berries connected to this, so reading it for the first time, by the way, because I only had a couple of mangas from later on. This is the first time I started reading Naruto from the beginning. I only ever saw the anime, so seeing this and reliving this, I was so happy. I was smiling the entire time. This made me happy for very personal reasons. And then my most beautiful acquisition so far, getting a bit capitalist here, but whatever, it's books, I don't count that, it has to be Ascension by S.T. Gibson, because look at all the foiling and how detailed, to get out of the frame, I think. Like, this is just, it is so damn pretty. I am so deeply in love with this cover. I'm in love with the cover of the first book, Evocation, as well. These are just so pretty. The next question is, which are some of my priority reads? And I'm currently looking to find one of them. 1 second. The 1,000 Names by Django Wexler, and actually the entire Shadow Campaign series, which is 5 books long, but I only have the first one physically. I need to reread this and then continue the series. This is Flintlock Fantasy, and I can't really tell you a lot about it, because apparently the first book is just set up for the characters, and then the rest of the series does something completely different. I don't know, but in the first book we do some fighting in a desert to liberate some people that rebelled against the kingdom. So yeah, it's colonizers recolonizing a desert that has freed itself. But we uncover some magical secrets that inevitably make everything a little bit more complicated. But yeah, I put the entire series on my 12 and 12 to read, which isn't a 12 and 12 to read, but I put this on that, and I haven't even started it, so I gotta get to it! 1 book a month will just about do it. Same goes for the Sex Wizard series. I have 2 more books in my possession with Championship, book 3, and Odyssey, but book 4, and that is going to take a while. And Homecoming, the 5th, wow, I can't count, the 5th book, is already out. It is out as of June 30th, and that was the reason why I wanted to go ahead with the series. That, and because I owned it and never continued it, and it will come to an end. The next book to be published is the final book in the series, so I want to catch up and then get on with it. And another priority read of mine is, where is it? The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang, because I put this on my 12 and 12 to read as well, and this is a standalone, so why is it taking me so long to get there? Probably because it is quite the intimidating read. Everyone loves this book, and usually when something is hyped like that, I'm not someone who follows the hype. I am not like the other girls. I like what people don't like, and I don't like what people like, so I'm a wee bit intimidated by The Sword of Kaigen. I have it now physically, so I have to read it, right? That is the logic behind it, right? Right? We get the ebooks and then forget about them, and then we get the book physically and then we have to read it. That's the logic behind that, right? Right? And then one of my final questions. One of the questions that a lot of people just drop out of their mid-year freakout now, but that is your favorite book to something else adaptation. And for that one, I have to go. I have to go with The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I am obsessed with this. I was obsessed with this when it came out at the end of January and throughout February, and I'm still obsessed with it. I just read the 2nd and 3rd novella of this book. This is 3 novellas, and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, is the first one, and it got a TV show, and the TV show actually made me buy this book. And not just this book! It made me buy the whole entire Song of Ice and Fire series. That one is the show. Between Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is what got me to buy the entire series finally. And I am obsessed with The Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I am obsessed with the book, with the show. I already want to reread these 3 novellas. I am not okay. I am not okay when it comes to A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. I'm not okay. And I'm okay with being not okay about this. I am well aware that I am not at all normal about this. And it got nominated for, I think, 9 Emmys, and it deserves every single one of them. Every single one of these Emmys has to go to this. And yes, I am well aware that George R.R. Martin is currently working on the next novella because the show made it so popular again. And I am well aware that the next season of the show is about to wrap up filming, and it is going to come out at the beginning of next year. And I cannot wait. I apologize for the person I will become when season 2 drops. I am so not normal about this. But that will finish it out. That will finish my mid-year freak out for this year. I think I freaked out sufficiently. Did we freak out sufficient? I would say that was a sufficient amount of freaking out about books and things. So yeah, I apologize again that this happened so late, but there were night shifts involved. I was sick. People around me were sick. The puppy was acting up. There was a lot going on, which is why this video is a month late. I am so sorry about that. But now here it is. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know what was your best book of the year, your best read so far, and let me know one anticipated read. I am notoriously bad at keeping up with new releases and stuff, so let me know what you are really excited for that is coming out in the second half of the year, just so that I maybe can look into it and maybe be a bit more on top of new releases and stuff. And if you don't want to talk to me at all, leave a crystal ball emoji down in the comments below for the Sex Wizard series. If you know, you know. And yeah, that's it. I guess I will see you in the next video. Bye.